Hey Southwest Region, we are here with your next QRT from Caleb Schneider from the Lubbock, Texas office. About 175,000 in career sales. Very exciting, 10K fast starter, by the way, and it has skills in all areas of the business. It's hard to even decide what to have him speak about. But I think we've decided we're going to talk about selling sets. He's got a really good average order. He sells a lot of the sets, and so he's going to share with you guys some tips on selling more sets on your demos. Take it away.
Take it away. There's a few keys to selling more sets on your demos. The best thing I would say is starting high, starting big. You cannot be big to ask Mrs. Jones for the big order, whether you know, be an ultimate with flatware, and cookware. The sky is the limit. I know guys that'll make their wish list $7, $8, $9, $10,000 just to start her high. So that way, once you started high, you're dropping back down very slowly. Because the odds of her saying yes to a $7,000 order are very slim to none. But she might say yes, which is pretty cool. So you drop down slowly and surely. It's like walking down. It's like whenever you first learn how to walk. Whenever a kid walks, does he walk fast? Does he make a lot of mistakes? Of course. But you got to walk down slowly. You got to use the handrail, just like walking down the stairs, if that makes sense. Just like what your managers tell you in training, they're not lying to you. Do that exactly.
So let me ask you this: so if you start big, say you're starting with ultimate cookware flatware, which is what, around about $8 grand?
Around about $8 grand, yeah.
Okay, so you're starting at an $8 grand set rather than the homemaker, and then someone's like, "Oh no, we couldn't do that." What's the next question?
What's the next question is, why couldn't you? And she's like, well, I wouldn't use the cookware, I wouldn't use this, so forth. So it's basically you're asking her questions, getting her thinking about what does she want. Because I have a pretty good idea. She wants all that, but she's probably not going to get all that now. So Mrs. Jones, if you don't mind me asking, what of this do you not want?
Okay, so they say, I don't think I'd use the cookware. So then you drop down to the ultimate and the flatware.
And I drop to the ultimate and the flatware. Like, oh, Mrs. Jones, awesome. Well, that's great. You can get the cookware later on. No big deal. No worries. All right, cool. So the cool thing is now we're not looking at $7,000, $8,000 anymore. Now we're looking at $3,000, or $4,000, something like that. And so it's dropping that price down. And then she's still, I don't know if I don't think I need the flatware. All right, so we drop down, and basically what I'm getting at is by the time if she says no a lot, you're giving her a lot of opportunities to say no, because the average person says no 5 to 9 times before they finally say yes. And so she's going to say yes to a signature, or to a deluxe kitchen systems, or even the homemaker, because $1,000 seems like nothing compared to $8,000.
Yeah, homemaker is definitely the basic set once you started.
It is the basic set.
Complete kitchen or
whatnot.
It is. So, and tell me this, is there any objection that you think you hear more than others?
The objection that I hear the most is, well, my husband's not home, or my wife is not home. I can't make this decision without them. I need to run this by them first. Like, no, Mrs. Jones, I totally understand. I would want to consult my husband too if I was, my wife, I guess, if I was going to spend, $1,000, $2,000 on knife sets. I understand that. But see, Mrs. Jones, the thing is, you just tell him about it. You walk in and say, hey, honey, I want to buy this $2,000 knife set. What do you think? He's going to look at you like you're crazy, unless he has actually felt, seen, and touched the product. So we actually have our 15-day money-back guarantee. Mrs. Jones, I call this the spouse clause, because you can get it, you can put it on a 5-pay, 20% down, try it for 15 days, and 15 business days, so it actually breaks out longer. Only at 20% down. He can actually try it, he can use it in the kitchen, and Mrs. Jones, if you don't like it, y'all can send it back. But to be honest with you, in my entire career, I've never had anybody send anything back on me.
Awesome. And I think you told me before you asked a question too about, are they allowed to make decisions? How did you word that?
I actually learned this one from my buddy Josh Mueller. You ask her, she's sitting there like, well, I don't know if my husband, once again, same objection. And I just ask her, Mrs. Jones, you tell me your husband doesn't let you make decisions in the kitchen? I mean, did he consult you whenever he went and bought his tools out in the garage or bought his car? Did he consult you first? Does he let you do this? And most of the reactions, does he let me? Does he let me? Oh, it's great. And then she's like, okay, I want this one. It gives her like this empowering feeling. And so she's just like, female power. Ooh.
And then you can always still wrap up with the, by the way, you still have the 15-day guarantee. That's not a problem, right?
Yeah.
Sugarcoat there at the end.
Yep, exactly.
So tell me this, why do you think sets are a much better deal for them than just pieces?
Sets are a much better deal for them for several reasons. One, if you price out every single individual piece, and say a homemaker, for example, if you price them all out individually, it comes out to cost it with the block and everything, it costs a lot more than it would just by itself. So they're discounted packages already. It also gives the customer not only just a bunch more pieces, just have sitting on their knife block sitting on the cabinet, which I think looks very nice, by the way. I always tell her that I think it looks very pretty, looks very professional and so forth. But it makes everything in their kitchen a lot easier and swifter. because she's in and out of the kitchen a lot quicker. Instead of using a paring knife to carve a turkey or something of that nature, you know, when someone has, is there one knife? There's not one good knife in Cutco. The more knives you have, the more efficient you're going to be, because every knife has its own individual purpose. And I always tell them, you know, just as an example, Mrs. Jones, it's like buying in bulk at Sam's Club. The more you buy, the more you get discounted off your price.
Fantastic. So they get the storage with it, it's a lot safer. They get the prepackaged deal. They have the right tool for the job. It looks nicer on the cabinet. And they usually get free stuff with it, depending on what you offer. So that's also just extra stuff in the deal.
Love to get free stuff.
So last couple of questions are, since you do such a great job, what are your favorite parts about just being a rep, working with Cutco?
My favorite parts about being a rep, well, I'm a college student. I know there's a lot of college students out there doing this business. And the fun thing about it is flexibility of schedule. If I have finals one week, or if I have a big chunk of tests, or I have a big project due, you know, I'll rearrange my schedule to where I won't work that much that week, so I can focus on my school, because school is, you know, a big priority of mine. But aside from flexibility is the relationships, the people that I've gotten to meet, you know, over the past 2 years. My buddy Brett, my buddy Josh, Sean, Brent, Angel, Joseph, my boy Aaron Zeller, the seller. Anybody, man, like the relationships that I've made over the past 2 years has probably been the best thing ever. It's not about the money anymore. It seemed like it was gonna be a quick couple bucks here in the summer, and that would be it. And it turned into so much more than that. I can do whatever I want with Vector, either inside the company or outside the company, from what I have learned, and that is what's the most invaluable thing to me. Like, you couldn't put a price on it.
And you've been to conferences, so what's your opinion on conferences?
I love conferences. My fast start was actually for our first conference. Got to do a lot of cool things, learned a lot of cool stuff. Okay. The second summer conference saved my career, and that's no lie. I'm not lying to you right now. You know, I came out of my fast start, did great, and then I went and fell flat on my face. Had a lot of no sells, just wasn't doing it. I was like, well, you know, made some good money, I'm done. And my manager told me, he's like, no, I'm not letting you quit. He's like, he made a deal with me. He's like, go to this conference with me. Let's drive down to this conference. It's a 6-hour drive for us. He's like, we're gonna drive down to this conference, just me and you. Everybody else will fall in their cars. And then if you still don't want to go, you still don't like it after we're done, you can quit. And that conference, I learned so much stuff. I got to do my fair and show training because I wound up being qualified for that, and I not even had any idea, everything. And that's what saved my career to this day. I give conferences everything.
So go to conferences.
Go to conferences.
Go to conferences.
If you don't go to conferences,
crazy.
Exactly.
Just lose an opportunity. All right, so we are done for this QRT. Thank you so much, Caleb Schneider, again from Lubbock, Texas, and we will see you guys again soon.
Guns up.